The Greek myths are messy. Across hundreds of years and many authors, dozens of stories with sometimes wildly different versions of events have survived into our modern era. As someone who wants to make sense of these stories for an audience that hasn't devoted their life to memorizing every last detail, this can be confusing. So in this series, we will be breaking down the Greek myths by their chronology, putting all the major myths in order to show how the world of Greek mythology unfolded over time. In part 1 of our series, we will begin at the beginning, covering the creation of the world through the rise of Zeus and the Olympian gods. In the traditional way that these myths were shared, these stories about the creation of the world and the lives of the first gods would have been told before any other myths, making them chronologically the earliest. The universe is in darkness, there is no light, and everything is a swirling mass of incomprehensible matter. Gaia, also called the Earth, emerges from this primordial soup and gives birth to Uranus, the sky, who mates with her to create the first generation of gods, the Titans. Together, Gaia and Uranus produce 12 children, 6 sons and 6 daughters. Unfortunately, though, Uranus hates his children and keeps them trapped inside Gaia's body. Realizing that she has carried her children for far too long, Gaia asks one of her sons, Cronus, to castrate his father so that they can be freed. Cronus does as he is asked, but not before some of the blood of Uranus falls to the ground and creates the giants called the Gigantomachii. The severed genitals of Uranus then float up into the sky and become the source of new life, the rain and the clouds. The female Titans mate with their brothers, creating more gods. One of these unions produces Aphrodite, who is then whisked away to safety by Gaia. Another produces the goddess of wisdom, Athena, who is immediately claimed by the wily Poseidon. The remaining 5 second-generation gods are Hades, Hera, Demeter, Hestia, and Nemesis. At this point, the gods split up to divide the universe among themselves. Gaia, having fulfilled her purpose, retreats deep into the earth. Cronus, now king of the Titans, rules over the heavens. Uranus, the fallen king, broods over his wounds in the underworld, and the remaining gods set off to claim their portions of the universe. First, the 3 sisters, Hera, Demeter, and Hestia, rush to Olympus and claim it as their own. Next, Athena and Poseidon race to the sea and engage in a contest to determine who gets to claim it. But they are soon joined by Hades, who claims the entire underworld. As a reward for being the first god to arrive at his portion of the cosmos, he is given control of riches and precious metals. Then there is Nemesis, who seems to claim nothing, though she may rule over the mountains. Finally, Cronus and his queen, Rhea, decide to hide their youngest son, Zeus, away from his siblings, for he is prophesied to overthrow his father just as he himself had done to his father. Cronus, worried that Zeus might seek revenge on his siblings, hurls each of them into a far corner of the universe to rule their own domains. Zeus, meanwhile, is raised by an adoptive family of nymphs until he is old enough to take his rightful place as king of the cosmos. When he is grown, Zeus frees his siblings, and together they wage war against the Titans. During the ensuing battle, the gods use their superior intellect and strategy to outmaneuver the Titans, with Zeus hurling lightning bolts from above and the other gods unleashing their other powers. After years of fighting, the gods prevail, imprisoning most of the Titans within the great cavern beneath Mount Othrys. Some accounts say that the giants, born from the blood of Uranus, join the fray and fight alongside the Titans, but are defeated and hurled into Tartarus along with their kin. Enraged at what has happened to his kind, Atlas, the Titan cursed by the gods to bear the weight of the sky upon his shoulders forever, rebels against Zeus and leads another assault against the gods. Once again, the Olympians win the day, slaying Atlas and the rest of the giants. With the universe stable once again, the gods settle into their places of power and Zeus establishes his court on top of Mount Olympus. He claims the allegiance of all the lesser gods, including the minor deities, daimons, and elementals, as well as the worship of humankind. Over time, the Olympian gods begin to explore the boundaries of their power. Poseidon uses his trident to strike rocks from which fresh water springs forth. Hades abducts Persephone, the daughter of Demeter, to be his bride, and Zeus seduces the mortal Danae in her bronze prison, conceiving Perseus. Meanwhile, Hera grows increasingly suspicious of Zeus's infidelities and punishes the lovers who return his affections. Elsewhere, the craftsman god Hephaestus creates the golden armor of the hero Achilles. His mother Hera throws him down from Olympus for his disability, and the beautiful goddess Aphrodite is born of the sea foam created. When the Titan Cronus castrates his father, on Earth, the mortals begin to worship the gods and heroes. Among them is Sisyphus, who deceives Hades and steals Persephone back from the underworld. For this insolence, he is condemned to spend eternity pushing a stone up a hill only to watch it roll down every time he nears the top. Other heroes fare better, such as Heracles, who slays the Nemean lion and receives the gift of immortality from Athena after completing his 12 labors. Theseus journeys to the underworld to rescue his friend Pirithous, but not before accidentally killing Orpheus, the greatest musician who ever lived. And Jason and his band of heroes sail to the mythical land of Colchis to retrieve the Golden Fleece, during which time Jason seduces Medea, who helps them escape with the prize. In the East, cultures develop around the worship of other gods, including the Egyptian Osiris and the Persian Ahura Mazda. And in the North, a new race of beings emerges, the Aesir, who are led by the gods Thor and Odin. They clash frequently with the older gods of Greece, but often ally themselves with them against greater threats. One such threat comes in the form of Typhon, a monstrous serpent creature formed from the blood of Uranus and Gaia, who seeks revenge on those who imprisoned his brethren. With 100 heads, wings, fiery breath, and impenetrable hide, Typhon is nearly unstoppable, but Zeus eventually fires a bolt of lightning down the monster's throat, bringing him low, and the other gods finish him off with their combined powers. However, even in death, Typhoon is prophetic of things to come. Soon after his defeat, the Gigantomachy, led by Alcyoneus, rise from the earth to attack the gods. Again, Zeus proves to be the Gigantomach's greatest enemy and kills Alcyoneus by striking him in the knee with a stone, causing his body to burst open. With the giants slain, the earth trembles, and Gaia warns Zeus that humanity, sprung from her body, will turn against the gods unless he takes drastic measures. Taking pity on mankind, Zeus sends a great flood to wash them clean and begins to fashion humans in his own image. To replace the old mortals, Zeus sends Hermes down to retrieve Prometheus from the Caucasus Mountains, where he has been chained up for stealing fire and giving it to humans. Bound for his hubris, Zeus sentences Prometheus to eternal torment in a cave, while his half-brother Epimetheus, who had warned Prometheus not to steal the gift, is condemned to spend eternity shackled to a nearby stone. Also at this time, the Amazons, a tribe of warrior women who shun male company, are created by the gods. In the eastern Mediterranean, the worship of the Syrian goddess Atargatis reaches new heights as mortals build temples in her honor across the Fertile Crescent. And in Egypt, the reign of the 18th dynasty comes to an end with the death of Queen Nefertiti. Meanwhile, the Greek heroes continue to pursue their destinies. Perseus slays Medusa, the Gorgon whose gaze could turn men to stone. Theseus becomes the legendary king of Athens after slaying the Minotaur, a creature with the head of a bull and the body of a man. In the depths of the labyrinth, and Heracles, now deified, enters his final battle with the giant Antaeus, whom he kills by lifting him off the ground and squeezing him to death. With the future of the universe secure and the heroes dead or ascended to godhood, the Greek myths come to their natural end. In the East, the worship of gods like Dionysus and the Moirai grow more popular among the Greeks. And in the West, the Roman Empire begins its slow but inevitable decline. Over time, tales of the Greek myths become embedded in the Christian storytelling tradition, influencing figures like Paul and writers like Dante Alighieri, Geoffrey Chaucer, and Edmund Custos. And that's all for now. Hopefully you learned something new, and if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe so you won't miss anything. Thanks for watching.